Hey,
Hey,
mind if I join you?
sure.
Guess you heard what we were talking about in there.
You have to kill the animals to feed the town.
Yeah.
Can't you find another way?
I wish I could do that. I really do. But those animals down there, they're gonna save us. They're gonna keep everybody alive till we figure all this out. They're gonna be heroes.
Can you make sure Elmer goes first?
Why?
Since you won't have to watch your friends die.
Hey, Simon, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you? Can you hear me good?
You sound great. You look great. Everything is good. I'm so happy you're taking time to talk to me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So, Simon, first let me ask you: do you watch like some of the holiday movies that come out around this time of the year, like Elf or Home Alone? Are you a big Christmas movie guy, or no?
Yeah, I watched some Christmas movies, I'd say. Yeah, I watched Home Alone. I watched Elf. I watched those seasonal movies, yeah.
Yeah, they're great, aren't they? They make you laugh. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, what did you think of the season finale? Were you surprised by it? Did you find yourself in shock?
Definitely, I was in shock because
Yeah.
it's also so sad how Jim's gone. Like, it's going to be so sad for Ethan how he's going to react when he finds out his dad's gone. Like, he had such a heartwarming scene with his dad before he left. It was so heart-touching and sad knowing that what's happening next. Like, that when he just said, "I love you, Dad," and he said, "I love you too, buddy." And then knowing he's gone, it just melt my heart.
Simon, you might make me cry right now. Yeah, you're so right. It was such an emotional scene. Yeah. So, I wonder, Simon, what it's going to be like for Ethan moving forward, right? Because he's almost like the man of the house now by default, right? I mean, we don't know. I mean, maybe there's a chance Jim, we don't know, but we'll just take it for what it is, what it looks like. But it looks like that, Ethan's going to have to be the man of the house at such a young age, right?
Yeah, sadly, because there's he doesn't have a dad to step
Yeah.
up now. So I think Ethan's gonna do the best he can to he's so young, it's so hard to say this, but he's gonna try to protect them the much he can but there's not much he can do because he's not fully grown, he's not as strong. Maybe Jade will step in to help because
Yeah.
him and Tabitha are pretty close right now after they just found out what's been happening with them.
You know what I noticed about you, Simon? You're so good at playing Ethan. You seem like because Ethan always seems like sad, right? Because From is not a happy place. You do such a good job at like being sad, kind of, and showing the watcher, the viewer, that this is a dark place. Is that hard on you as an actor to show like that emotion that you're always kind of like upset and sad, right? Because there's not a lot to be happy with in From, and you show that as an actor really well.
Yeah, well, it's not easy, but it's not hard. I've been acting for a while now, 6 years, so
Wow.
it takes some emotion, but if I want to cry or something, I just do this thing where I stare until my eyes start to burn and they start to water. That's how I'd usually do any crying scene. But if I want to be emotional, you just gotta turn your game face on and just wing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna at the end of the interview, I want to read you some comments from some people on Reddit and Facebook. They love the way you portray Ethan, and they think you're doing an unbelievable job. Many people are touched by your performance and how good you are. So yes, you are a great actor at your young age. So you should know that, Simon.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what's the hardest part of being a child actor, right? Because there's a commitment. You also have to be a kid, right? Life is tough for me, and I'm 51. So, how do you manage being on one of the best shows on television and then leading a life of a kid? How do you do that?
Well, you just have to make time for stuff. Like, there's like sometimes if we get an addition, I have plans. Sometimes we'll just like not do the addition. I like to do as much as I can, but like you said, you have to make some time to just be a kid. Like, it's hard because like on set they're all adults, but like Catalina and like Hannah, they're so fun. Like, they always like, even though they're adults and they can be like talking with other adults, a lot of the time they like stay in the holding and just like have a good time with me. Like, Hannah always plays cards with me, and then Catalina off like screen, she always does like funny like videos with me. But yeah, you do have to make some time to be a kid. Like, sometimes I'll just go outside, and if I have an addition, then I'll just like learn it on camera.
Right.
And if I'm going somewhere, I find some time to like have some fun, because your whole childhood can't just be acting and acting and acting.
Right.
But I feel like for me, I have enough like time to be an actor and to be like a kid, you know? My parents do a really good job at like making sure I still like get to go outside and have some fun still.
Well, your parents raised a wonderful young man, so I believe that. So yes, I mean that's a great answer. You know, well, you mentioned your on-screen family, right? So I've interviewed Catalina and Hannah, and they're both wonderful. And they when I told them both that I was going to be talking to you, they were both so excited. They both said wonderful things about you. What is the Matthews family like off camera? You mentioned some of it, I guess. Like they're kind to you, they have fun with you. Are they supportive of you as an actor? Like, are they encouraging? Is it kind of like a family away from your family, if that makes any sense?
Yeah, kind of like off screen. We also like always do these like fun activities. Like, there was this place called Activate. I would always just go there. It's like a games place, but it's like you're like living it in real life. It's really
Yep.
fun, and I always go with like the cast and
Yeah.
a lot of like the Matthews family people. I like to go with them, and we always just have a good time. And for my 9th birthday, everyone was at this inflatable water park. It was so fun. Just for my
Yeah.
9th birthday, and literally every single one of the cast was there, and it was so fun.
For your 9th birthday at the water park, everybody was there.
Yep, every
That is
single
so
one of
cool.
them.
That is so cool. See, that's what makes From. I mean, forget the stuff we see on screen. Like that is so great to hear that, Simon. Who's the funniest cast member away from off camera? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of funny people, but who do you think is some of the funniest people off camera?
Everyone's so funny. Well, David Alpay, he's so funny. Like, he's just like Jade, except he doesn't swear as much. He's so funny. He's always telling like these jokes and stuff. Catalina's also so funny. She's always like, there's a video of me and her, and we're like trying to do this funny face. We're like squeezing our eyes together like this, and we're trying to do it, like trying to get this face right. And there's like other videos of us trying to do like the smiley creature face and all that.
Yeah,
But yeah, there's so much funny people, and it's so hard to choose. But I always have to say, oh, and Ian too. The top 3. David is so funny. He's just like Jade. Catalina's always doing like funny videos with me, and then Ian's so funny as well. Like, he's always making these jokes up, and he's always like playing baseball with me, and like everyone's funny. But those are probably
yeah.
the top 3.
No, that's a great answer. That's a really funny answer. You know, you haven't seen the script yet, so you don't know. But so for season 3, I kind of asked you a version of this question earlier. What do you think Ethan's going to be like in not this last season, but this next season, season 4? How would you, if you could control it, Simon? If you could, what would Ethan be doing? What do you think Ethan's? I mean, obviously outside of being emotional, what else do you think he'd be doing?
I want him to see the boy in white more, and like, because he hasn't seen him for so long. It's been since like season 1. I want him to go back to the boy in white storyline because it was so good. And I kind of like him the way he is right now. Like, he's like doing more action, and like he's understanding more of like what this place actually is. He's like knowing that this place isn't as good. There's a scene in season 1 where he's like, I think this place helps, and everyone's just trying to help us. But he's understanding more that this place isn't like as good. Like the voice Thomas, or it's crazy. Yeah, but I really like how he is now. I just want him to see the boy in white maybe a bit more, but
Yeah, me
that
too.
that's basically it. He's pretty good right now.
That's a great answer, Simon. You know, there's a theory, Simon, that many people believe this, that in another timeline, however From works, they believe that Ethan could be the man in the yellow suit. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that too,
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
but I don't see why he'd kill his dad.
That's
It
actually a really good point.
doesn't
Yeah,
make any
it
sense.
doesn't make any sense. You're right. That
He
would
has
not
like
make
an
any sense.
emotional scene with him saying like "I love you, Dad," and he's like "I love you too, buddy." And then after like 3 seconds later, he's like ripping his throat out. It doesn't make any sense.
Simon, you make more sense than some of the adults that are coming up with these theories. That is very well said, my friend. You know, we talk a little bit about how Ethan's road has been. We talked about the challenges you have. So one of the things that we see early on is that he's been through a lot, like the death of his dad, the loss of Thomas. One of my favorite scenes with you, Simon, is with you and Ian, and it's like in that, I think it's episode 10, where you're both walking away from the CB radio where they're trying to be Thomas, and you have figured it out where it's like, I'm done with these ghosts or spirits or whatever. And you know what scene I'm talking about, where the CB radio, you're in
Yeah,
the RV and you said, no, I'm not going to do this. I love that. That's maybe one of my favorite scenes with you in it, Simon.
yeah, that's one of my favorites too. I think it's the one you're talking about. It's like his last scene with Jim as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that one.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's one of my favorite scenes too because it shows that Ethan's maturing more and he's understanding this place and he's not falling for its tricks.
Yes, good answer. He's becoming more wise for sure. But then one of the most emotional scenes is when Sara tries to go after him, but Sarah's brother Nathan saves you. That's also a powerful scene with you involved. So like Ethan's had a lot of stuff happen to him, a lot. And how are you dealing with this? How do you feel about all this stuff? Because he perseveres, he learns, he's whatever you wanted to say about that, Simon.
Yeah, well, Ethan's very brave and like for him, I think Ethan's like only 9 or like 10 or something like that. Because I know when I started, I was about that age and they made it the same age as me.
Right.
And he can't just like age every week by a year. But for like a 9-year-old to be going through like all of that, it's crazy. Like, he came in and he's like he's dealing with like everything he knows now. He's trapped in this place. He doesn't have like anywhere to go. Monsters come out, and then he tries to get killed by one of his best friends. And then he like has a pole through his leg, and then he opens the door and a monster's there, and his mom's gone now, and now his dad's dead now,
Yeah.
and he's like running outside now. It's probably so hard for him, but I feel like Ethan's doing really good, and he's like being really brave and toughing through it.
Yeah, I agree, Simon. That's an awesome answer, and you're right. He lost Thomas before coming to From, so he's lost a sibling. So it's like life has not been easy for like you said, a child who's 9 years old. Simon, what is your take on like? So say when we resume filming again, we're going to see you a little bit older. Is that something that you've thought about? That people creating a show have thought about? Because I hope you don't go anywhere. We want to keep you right where you are because you're doing such a marvelous job. What's your take on that? You're going to get older. You're going to get taller. You're going to get bigger. What do you think?
Yeah, well, probably it would make sense if season 4 was like a bit of a jump because
Yeah, I
Julie
agree.
has like the short hair now.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's probably going to be a different time jump from the thing. But it also like kind of makes sense because like everything's changing now. So like it would make sense of it kind of. Because
yes.
like the boy in white said everything's changing now and like it's not the same as it was before. So
Yeah,
I think they kind of have it under control because like it's way different. Like it's every day is an episode. So for 10 days for them is 5 months for us. So it's
yeah.
really hard continuity wise to keep everyone the same. But yeah, they're doing a great job at keeping everything under control.
Yeah, great answer, Simon. What did you think of Julie's scream Hannah's scream when she sees her dad, like that curling scream. Even the part where she's by the headstones too. Remember that part where she's in there? And what do you think of that scream she gave out? That was pretty frightening, huh?
At the end of the
Yeah.
yeah, that was a really good scream, because I remember when she's possessed by those cicadas, she gave a really loud scream in the bedroom when she's like laying down and Ethan's in there. And what I was supposed to do is I was supposed to jump out, check if she was okay, then go around the bed. But the scream startled me so much, I got up on my feet on the bed and jumped to the other side of it. And then I was like covering my ears. But the director actually loved it so much because it looked so real. So they actually just kept that. But yeah, I think Hannah's a pretty good screamer.
Yeah, she is a good screamer. What's the scariest part of Fromville, you think, Simon? Is it the monsters? Is it being stuck there forever? Is it other people, Sara? Is it what's the scariest part, do you think, in your opinion, of Fromville?
Ooh, everything's so scary. Like, the monsters are scary itself, but if you just do what you're supposed to, nail the window shut, keep the blinds shut, you can easily conquer them. And if you make sure you like bring the animals in the barn and all that, then the monsters are pretty good. But there's gonna be some causes where you have to go out. But that is probably, the monsters are probably not the scariest thing. Like Kenny said, the monsters isn't the worst thing that can happen to you. For me, it's what the place can do. It can do anything, because like it can make someone just snap. Like Fatima, when she was with Tilly, she just like snapped and killed her. And Sara, she just like snapped and went after Ethan because of that. And then she went after Nate, not Ethan. She went after
Elgin. Right? You're talking about Sara going after Elgin? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, she went after Elgin, but at the start, I forget his name, but like it was Jade's friend that he drove in. Oh, Toby.
Toby, that's right. Okay,
he went after
yeah.
Toby.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably like this place can do anything it wants, and like the music box and like the illusions it can do.
Yeah,
it's just it can do anything it wants. That's probably the scariest thing for me.
Yeah, and I think just to go back to this for a quick second, I think a lot of people thought that you could be the man in the yellow suit because your character wears a lot of yellow. I think that's part of it. I wanted to throw that out there before I forgot.
Whoa, he does.
Yeah. They said because you wear. I should have mentioned this earlier. I'm sorry. They said yes because he wears a lot of yellow. But you brought up a good point too. So.
Ooh, yeah, he does wear a lot of yellow. Almost all of his things have yellow, because like
a lot of yellow. There's
his
a lot
green
of yellow.
vest with like the yellow sweater. Yeah. And then he just has like the yellow plaid one. Oh yeah, he does wear a lot of yellow, but it doesn't make sense if he just killed his dad.
No, like I agree. So you know who you remind me of very much? You remind me of Chandler Riggs from The Walking Dead. As a Walking Dead fan and as somebody who loves From, you look like him a little bit. You're tough like he is. You're loyal to your family like he is. Has anybody ever told you that, Simon, that you look like Carl from The Walking Dead a little bit?
No, but he did a great job playing Carl, and Carl lasted a while, so I guess I'll take that as a compliment.
Oh, it is a compliment. Believe me, Carl was one of the best characters on The Walking Dead for sure.
Yeah, I watched that show a bit, and he was so good in it.
Yeah. So what is it like being on set for months at a time, right? So I've asked the other actors this. There's only 2 actors I haven't interviewed from the Fromcast. Now there's only one because you and I have talked, and thank you for all this time, Simon. I really appreciate it. And I haven't interviewed Harold yet, but he's my last one. And my list is growing. But let me ask you this. So being on set for months at a time, are you with family? Because I know that I think it was Liz saying she's for 5 months, and like, and you're one of the main characters, right? You're a regular. So how is it for a child your age? Are you with family? How does that work, Simon?
Yeah, the reason I took the job is because my whole family could come out. My sister could come out. My dad could come out. My mom could come out. My dogs could come out. So I was good. I was good, and I could take my computer so I can stay in contact with my friends. Yeah, I got a smaller computer so I can take it to play with my friends still and keep in touch with them. And so, yeah, that's why I took it. So it's not really that hard. It's hard to be away from home and to not see grandparents, but it's like not as bad as it seems. Like sometimes you can miss home a lot, but it just if you have your family, then that's what matters the most.
No, that's another great answer. Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you this. So, did you get surprised reading the script for season 3? Did you, when you read it before you saw it, right? Were you surprised, or do you only get to read like what you're involved in?
I get to read it all.
Oh, so what did you think when you read like the Jim thing, the other surprises? Were you, how about the fact about Ethan's mother and Jade, like they're now reincarnated? Like, were you stunned at all this stuff, Simon?
Yeah, this is probably one of the craziest seasons ever. Like,
Yeah.
we got a call from Liz Moy, who plays Xian Chen,
Okay.
and right when we got the script, that's right when she called, because that's right when we could find out. And she tells us like, "Oh, Xian Chen's dead," and we were so sad and we were so shocked because like Tian Chen, she's like she just does the diner. She has like nothing on anyone. Like she has no blood on her hands for the monsters, but they want to make everyone suffer, so they killed her, and then that was crazy for me. And Ethan opening the door, I never would have imagined that Ethan opened it. But to clarify, he checked the window first, and nothing was there. He didn't see the granny monster there, so he didn't open the door to put him and Julie in harm's way. He just did it to try to get Elma and get right back in. He didn't see the grannies, but yeah, and the gym part, that was the most shocking one of all.
Yeah, sometimes Ethan takes some unfair criticism, right? I mean, I'm team Ethan. I feel like sometimes people are a little hard on a boy that's only 9 years old, right? They don't realize that Ethan's just a kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So I have a few questions from you from the great fans on Facebook and Reddit. They're really great questions. What was your favorite scene to shoot, Simon, or one of your favorite scenes to shoot?
My favorite scene to shoot, I really like the one in the diner when like Victor's like, was it him? And he's like, who drew this? And it's like, I did, but it's in crayon. And then he said, you're a grown up. And then like Jim like grabs him, like slams him in the door. That was my favorite one to film.
Yeah, that's a great scene. Talk about going from like you have some really great credits outside of From. Talk about going from like a Paw Patrol to a From. Did you find that like playing a role in a horror series was a new adjustment for you? Were you a horror? I hate to ask somebody your age if they were a horror fan, but did you like scary movies before
Well,
From?
From's actually what got me into scarier movies because
Gotcha.
I was like, before From, I wasn't really into much. I was only in like a couple Hallmark things and like some animation ones like Paw Patrol, and then I saw From and I took it and it was like a big jump.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I actually like it, and like I've watched so much horror movies now, it's like crazy, and it actually helped me get over my fear because they let me glue the monster's teeth in to like help me get over my fear of the monsters because like I had to film with them, so they had to make sure I was comfortable before I filmed with them, and it actually like helped me realize that stuff was fake. Like I used to be so scared of the movie It, like Pennywise.
That is frightening.
And I can watch it. Like I've watched both the movies now.
Hold on, Simon. They let you glue the teeth into the monsters into their mouth?
Yeah, so like they called me in so I could see the monster before we did it.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to get in the trailer because like it's almost done. It's just like the teeth was terrifying for me. Because like the teeth, it's like all messed up. Because like they're all crooked and sharp.
Yeah.
So they let me in the trailer and I got to see her beforehand so I can like see her face through the mask kind of. Like imagining it, and I go in and they say, hey, do you want to help us glue it in? I'm like, I'm okay. And they're like, come on, it'll help you. So like I take it and they put glue on it, and I was really nervous because like if I messed it up then it wouldn't be so good. But there was like little holes in the monster thing, so you just glue the teeth in and it's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Do you remember what monster it was, or do you not remember?
Granny monster.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said Granny Monster. Yeah. You know who's one of the nicest monsters is Smiley. He's such a nice guy. I don't know if did you ever meet Smiley? The guy with Yeah, you
I
met
met
him?
him once. Jamie, right?
Yeah, Jamie's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've met him once. I haven't really worked with him, so I don't really know him too well. But I worked with Sarah Campbell, the Granny Monster.
Okay.
She's one of the nicest people I've ever met. She's so sweet. She was
Yeah.
like, so like whenever I was like scared to, I'm not scared, but like it's a thrill to open the door and like see her because like from season 1, I was like scared to watch the trailer of her even in the window, and just to hear her say hello, I was like, oh my god. But she was like, oh, it's just me, it's fine, and she was so sweet and calming, and we ended up doing it, and it was perfect.
Yeah, she's so frightening in the show, though, right? She was so scary when she,
Yeah,
you know,
but with the dark they put like a darker filter on, and like they like put the music so it's like intense. But she's like such a sweet person in real
yeah,
life.
yeah. It seems like that. Is it? I just want to know. A lot of people wanted to let you know how much they love your work. That's part of it. But let me ask you: is playing Ethan taxing or hard or draining? Is it hard for you sometimes? Because again, it's. I think I might have asked you a version of this question earlier, but it's a hard place to be in. Does it wear on you a little bit? Is it exhausting for you, Simon? Does it make you tired?
Um, no, not really. If I'm like working, like I've worked like 3 days in a row once, and that was like a little tiring. Like, but I can just take a nap, and I was good after that. So, but like everyone's so comforting, and like it's such a good vibe on set, and everyone's so nice and making sure I'm okay. So it's not too much of like a thing. It looks like really scary on camera, and you never know what's gonna come. But on set, it's like you flip the switch and it's all
Yeah.
different.
Simon, I have two more questions for you, and thank you for all this time. I really appreciate it, Simon. Let me ask you: are there any behind-the-scenes stories? You mentioned the water park earlier. Are there any other stories that are memorable for you that you're comfortable sharing? If not, no big deal.
Yeah. So me and Ian behind the scenes, we would always he had a wiffle ball and a bat.
Yeah,
So we'd always take it, and since it was so light, we'd always like hit it, and like there was always a building all the way back there, and we kept hitting the building, and then we kept hitting the trailers by accident, so we had to move to like a field, and he would always just like pitch it to me, and then he would do like at the time I was like younger, so we'd do like the underhand slow one, so I could just whip it, and it was so sweet. And Hannah would always play card games with me. She taught me how to shuffle the deck, which I never knew how to do, and now I'm really good at doing it. And yeah, everyone's just so sweet. Like we always go to Activate, and which is like the indoor games thing I was talking
right,
to you about.
right.
And Liz Moy, she would always come over to like watch us if like my parents went out to do something, and we'd always play this Just Dance game on my Nintendo Switch, and it
Yeah.
was so funny and so fun with her. But yeah, that's like mostly it. There's like probably like 100 more, but
No,
I
that's a
feel like
great one, Simon. That's a great one. You know, Simon, and I'm just thinking as you talk about this, because Jim, if things go the way we think they're going to go, is going to be off the show, right? And though, and I know, I know it's a fictitious character, but like those memories, like now he's not going to be around. Like if that's how it plays out, so it's kind of sad in a way. Was Ian bummed when he found out about it? Or did you not like see any of that?
well, maybe he was like a little sad he's like getting off the show, but like he's probably gonna be back for like cause like dreams and like you know
Yeah, they
how
have dream sequences, sure.
Bobby
Yeah,
Cotchery's there for Boyd and the bartender's there for Jade. Maybe like he'll be there for Tabitha, Julie, or Ethan, or one of them. So it's sad that Ian's gone, but he might come back for a bit and like to see like maybe he will be like in a dream or
gotcha.
like there's an episode where he's like their imagination or something like that.
Yeah. My very last question for you is, so I talked to Vox Smith a couple weeks ago. Do you ever have a chance, and I guess there's a lot. Do you ever have a chance to hang around other kids that are in the show off camera, or like, do you ever have that chance?
Yeah, I would always go over to Vox's house actually. We
Okay.
we were like pretty close. We'd always like see each other in the summer. We'd like go in their pool and we'd go in their like theater and it was a good time. And during the winter it was like snow, so me and Eli plays young Victor. We'd
Yep.
always go and play in the snow and like have snowball fights. So yeah, I do get to hang around them both a lot. off of camera. There's another kid. She plays Megan, but I don't think she lasts very long.
Yeah. What do you hope happens to Ethan moving forward? Where do you want your character to go? What would you like to see happen to your character, Simon?
I'd like him to have. He has enough action, but like I'd like him to get more involved on actually like trying to help. Like maybe like go in the bar with Jade and like help him figure out the bottles, or maybe like do something to try and help Boyd and get more involved on what's actually happening. Because like he is doing a lot and he is helping a lot, and like he saved Elma and all that. But yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. Like I said, I wanted to see the boy in white again, and like maybe go with Victor and have like a face-to-face talk with the boy in white. Because I think for the first time he finally had a face-to-face conversation with Victor when he tried to cut down the bottle tree. But yeah, Ethan's like, I think he's pretty good right now. He's doing like a lot.
I think he's a great character. And listen, thank you for this time, Simon. You are a wonderful young man. Like I had so much fun talking to you. I hope you had fun talking. I want to wish you a happy holidays and a happy new year. And I hope, Simon, one day you come back on the show. We could talk maybe after season 4.
That'd be so great. Thank you so much for having me.
Simon, have a wonderful night. And thank your parents for letting you come on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good Christmas and New Year's.
You too. Bye.